Welcome to the last video in the series, and honestly, this might be the most important one of all 5. A lot of teachers will start a notebook system, but not everyone can sustain them. That's what we're going to tackle today, and don't forget you can grab your free planning guide in my bio. If you've been watching this series without that, please go and grab it. It's going to help you a lot with your planning. Let's talk assessment. I have really done both extremes. I used to spend almost every weekend in my classroom with my kids watching a cartoon, grading all of the science notebooks with set rubrics and different points for every page. Then I swung the other way and stopped grading them or looking at them altogether. And no surprise, middle schoolers can really fool you with looking like they're getting work done when they're really not. So I feel like I've reached a really good middle ground. I still do not grade notebooks. I do not sit down and give them points for every page, but I do go through them and I do give feedback because there are some students that I need to stay on top of. And so about every 2 weeks, I will go through the notebooks. I don't have to collect them because they leave them in my classroom in the crates. And so I'll go through and I'll give feedback. And there are certain pages I'm looking for understanding, especially if we've done labs or they've taken notes, and I'll give feedback on little Post-its or sometimes just directly on their notebook, or sometimes I'll stamp them. They love stamps. And I will pull the kids that are a little bit behind and not really keeping up into our intervention time. Now, I do let students use their notebooks on quizzes. We have almost every week, we have an open notebook quiz. And so when they have their everything in their notebooks, they tend to do really well on the quiz. So there is a little bit of a grade associated in that sense. So you definitely want to spend some time thinking about assessment and feedback and grading and what role you want your notebooks to play in that. So let's talk about what to do when things start to fall apart, because sometimes things are going to happen. So the big one is what happens when a student loses their notebook. This happens to me every year. I always have at least one. In fact, this year I think I just had one student who lost it and then found it a few weeks later. But in the meantime, what we did is we just started a new notebook and we just start it from that day. So I don't put any of the things in the front. We don't try to go back and do anything. We start it from that day. And so if we're starting on page 76, then we start page 76 on the first page and just move on from there. Also, what happens when they get a little bit messy and things start to literally fall apart? Well, that's why I do 2 notebooks. So we have one for first semester, and then we start a brand new one second semester. They just end up getting a little bit beat up and also a little full. And so we just start a brand new one. So I would encourage you to do that as well. So that's a wrap on the series. If this was helpful for you, please let me know in the comments. And if you want to keep getting ideas like this, not just science notebooking, but also just fun, engaging ideas to do in your science classroom, please follow me. You could also join my newsletter in your bio so that you get the ideas right to your inbox. I genuinely love teaching middle schoolers and I talk about it a lot. So I'll see you around.